Hi guys, I'm Asif Ali and watching CGHOW video, and today I'm back again with another Tony Story flash effect. So you asked me to make more 2D effect. So let's start this tutorial. So I have already created this effect, but I will do it again, and it's all about material. You don't have to do much thing in Niagara, but the material. So I'll just make a new folder again, and this whole like what will so this okay, so in this folder, let's make material and flash. And this material will be like, I will not use any texture. I will try to avoid. So first thing I will do is make unlit, and you can use a translucent or mask, whatever you want. So let's say you have the mask beside it. So first thing, what you can do, you can take a noise, and we have a default noise here that you can use. So if I preview it, this is how it looks. You can make the tiling like small, and then you can use also Voronoi and turn off the turbulence, and maybe just maybe 2 3 0. So you will have something like this. Then this is 3D. To make it 2D, you can make plot 3 and then break plot 2 and just connect these together. And now you can use this noise as a noise texture. You can pan it, you can use anything. So if you take texture coordinate, now you need to work on this tiling, because after the texture coordinate, tiling will change. Okay. So now you have this, and instead of this, you can also take vector to radial. But before that, let's take vector to radial. And if I preview this linear, this is a radial, and this is like a radial, clock gradient, sorry. So if you want this on both sides, what you can do, you can just like first I'll multiply by 2, then subtract, sorry, 2, subtract 1. So it will be in the center and has some negative value. Then you can do the absolute. So you will have this. Then you can take step, and if I preview it, like 5, 8.12. So you will have this, and you need, instead of black, you need white. You can invert it, so you will have white. Okay, but I want it on here. You can do that, but it's okay. You can also use it. But if you want that, you can actually rotate it by adding here 0.15 minus 0.5. So it will be here. Cool. So you have this, and with this step node, you can increase the width of this cone. So I'll just select all, press Q to align, and then I'll use the same vector to radial here for my noise. So this noise should be like this. Okay. And also I want to dial it. So I'll dial it this way. So maybe like 3 and 1 or 0.5. So it should be stressed on this axis. So it is stressed, right? Then next thing, from this vector to radial, this last one, linear distance, is a radial. What you can do, you can actually use a sine, connect it. We have this thing, you can make it too. Then you can use this step here, and if I connect, then you can use it like 0.5, 8. So you can make a like this thing. Then you have this radial. Okay. You have this cone, you have this noise. So we have this cone, we have this noise, and we have this ring. So I want to distort this ring with this noise. So for this ring, this is the UV. That means I want to add in its UV, I want to add this noise. So if I use this noise, and I'll just take this single channel and add this ring will be distorted completely. You can see. And when you have this distorted ring, you can multiply this distorted ring with the cone. You had this cone, so you can multiply it with this. So if you preview, you will have a noise that is distorted, a ring that is distorted, and it is cutted in this cone. And you can control it by like multiply. So if you want less distortion, you can do that. If you want more, you can also do that. And also I'll increase styling, maybe it's 10. You will have this. And let's make a stance. So first, this is my cone. Oops, cone. Default value is 0.2. Select it here. Then this is my distort. And default value, let's use 0. Then to offset this ring, because this distort is offsetting this ring. So if I preview and distort this, so this ring is getting smaller. If you want to maintain the size, let's before distorting it, let's add some value on it. So I'll call it ring offset, and let's use 0 for this also. And this whole thing is connected here. Let's save it. So if I right click and make an instance, and on a planar, I have these three. So we have this distortion, we have this cone, okay, and we have this ring offset. So I can offset it, I can distort it much more. So like we have this. But in my final output, I had these distortion more in here and less on the side. So you can do that. What you need to do actually, here you had this cone here. We had this final cone. But before this final cone, you had this thing. Okay. So what you can do, if I move it, if I multiply this and take a frac and multiply it like 4 times or 5 times, this will repeat. Okay. Because it's showing you just the fractional value. Okay. So now you can invert it because I want white strips and then take a power. So you have this. So instead of this frac, let's use just directly this thing. Okay. Or let me just preview this. Yeah, I want to invert this and then, or we can just use this frac to one time. Okay, that's why we were actually distorting it. So I just want to, okay, let me check one thing. And if I do this, okay, yes. So we can also do that. Okay, instead of adding this here, we can add it here. And if I now do it directly, or maybe just put this flag. Yeah, so we have this thing and we can repeat it. many times. So let's make it like how many times I want to repeat. So let's call it uh, bands. I don't know what to call it for now. That's what 6. And we have this white things. So what we can do, we have this distort. So if I multiply this distort with this power and then connect it here and let's save it. So now with this band, we have a control how many times we need to stretch it. Okay, you can do that. So basically for now we have this and we can control it. We can control this. And also if you want to like control this noise, you can also do that. So if I just add some value and call it noise offset and connect this and save. And now if you don't like this pattern, you can just little bit offset it. Like I like this one. Okay. Yeah, like this one. You can offset it. So you have this, now you want to dissolve it from the back. So what you can do to dissolve it, you can take this radial. First, let's take this radial and add this noise and just take the step node. So with this step node, we can dissolve it. So if I like make it 0.1, it will start dissolving from the center. So let's rename this parameter and I'll call it dissolve. And then at the very end, you can multiply it and then connect it to opacity. And if I save taking time, but you can dissolve it. Cool. So this is how you can do it, and I'll quickly call these things on in particles, and I'll just make two parameters. One is for dissolve. Yeah, just one for now. So let's make a dynamic parameter, and I'll just replace this with this and call it dissolve. Save it. And here I will make a Niagara contain sex, and I'll call this instance material. Because in instance I have rest of my settings. I don't need all these things. In the sphere, I'll use a torus, I'll use a uniform. Maybe directly, I'll just add here. Uh, Let me show you the difference why I'm doing it. So I'll take the burst, I'll take the 5 particles. I don't need gravity. And in dynamic parameter, let's use it 0. So you have these particles. Let's make the size little big. So you have these, and these are randomly rotated. I will unset it. And then if I just use velocity align and add some velocity from the center, so they will all align, but they are spawning on a different place every time. So that's why in this torus, I'll use the direct distribution, and I'll take the execution index. So they will have the same space, and you can reduce the torus radius like this much. So you have basically this thing. And with the dynamic parameter, you can just dissolve it from 0 to 1 like this. You can make it on fire. So this is what I did. You can just make the life shorter. like this. You can make size random if you want. So like you want 160. You can do it. You can change color by multiplying particular here. And I hope that's it. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Keep learning and bye bye.